Every year, 1.5 billion used tires are produced worldwide. To break this number down, every passing minute, 2,850 car tires become unusable. Kuwait is home to the largest tire dumping graveyard in the world, where used tires from all over the globe have been collected for the past 20 years. An aerial view of this graveyard reveals a stunning sight. It spans over 1,000 acres and is so large that it can be seen from space. If this graveyard had been located in a third world or developing country, it would have been understandable. But why does Kuwait, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, have such a massive tire graveyard? And why have they been collecting these used tires for the past 20 years? Finally, what is the use case of collecting and storing these used tires? Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. Dear viewers, an average car tire lasts for 30,000 to 40,000 kilometers, after which it becomes useless. It is either discarded or often seen lying useless on the side of the road. Unlike other recyclable materials that can be melted and reused, tires cannot be reversed because they are made by mixing rubber and sulfur. Recycling tires can also produce harmful gases, making the process illegal in many countries. Even in European countries, it is illegal to dispose of used tires as trash. So, to get rid of them, most Western countries send millions of tires to Kuwait every year. The Sulaibiya Tire Graveyard is spread over 1,000 square meters in the center of Arabian Beach. The tires are piled up in the form of mountains, not just in a single layer but also in 50 feet deep ditches, where they are continuously dumped. Kuwait buys 1,000 kilograms of these used tires for only 1 dinar and stores them here. Over the years, as Kuwait continued this practice, the tire graveyard has grown to such an extent that it can now be seen from space. According to Kuwaiti government officials, there are approximately 70 million tires in this entire graveyard. Now, Kuwait is a very rich country, so rich that its currency unit, 1 Kuwaiti dinar, is equivalent to $3.3. Seeing this, the world was curious about why Kuwait is gathering this scrap, even though they have been doing it for a long time, and they have not recycled a single tire yet. Kuwait did not lack money, so they bought these tires cheaply, but the Kuwaiti government had no plan for them. Finally, there was an incident that made Kuwaiti officials start taking these tires seriously. From 2012 to 2020, the tires in the Kuwait tire graveyard caught fire many times, and since there were millions of them, the fire would spread rapidly, making it difficult to control. To address this, officials divided the tires into separate squares so that they could control any fires. However, despite these measures, the fires continued to occur and produce a thick, black, smoky cloud and deadly gases, causing problems for people in the nearby city of Al Jarrah. To get an idea of the extent of the damage, you can see this satellite photo of a small square in the graveyard that was engulfed in a dangerous fire. Now, imagine the damage that would occur if the fire spread throughout the entire graveyard. Due to these incidents, there was a lot of pressure on Kuwait from the international community because the harmful gases from the burning tires remained unfiltered in the atmosphere. Finally, in 2021, Kuwait decided to find a solution for these tires. The tires were loaded into containers and sent around the world for recycling. But what are these used tires used for? A normal tire contains 3 things: rubber, carbon, and steel wires. Tires are first melted using pyrolysis plants. The rubber melts and turns into gas, which is then cooled down and used as fuel. After that, all that remains are the carbon and steel wires. The carbon is removed, and the steel wires are cooled and sent to a recycling facility. In addition to this method, there are many other effective ways to recycle tires. One such method is shredding, which involves shredding tires into a powder form that can be used to make rubber tiles for construction. A few years ago, the Sulaibiya Tire Graveyard, which used to look like this, was completely emptied in 2021 and now appears like an empty space on satellite images. However, there are still over 4 billion tires dumped in different countries around the world. While we talked about the tire graveyard, the photo you are looking at is not of a flower garden, but rather the world's largest cycle graveyard located in China. Yes, a few years ago, bike sharing became very popular in China. In 2015, proper bike sharing programs were launched where people would rent a cycle from one station and then park it at another station on an automatic dock. This service gradually became more advanced, and with the help of a mobile application, it became very easy to locate nearby bikes. People found this service very convenient, but often when they needed a bike, there was no bike available at nearby locations. To meet the demand of the market, there was a great need for new bicycles. It was considered the best and cheapest way for the middle class to travel. Eventually, many multi-billion-dollar companies emerged to fill this market gap. In each city, many cycle booths were established with thousands and lakhs of bicycles parked in them. At its peak, 70 bike-sharing companies were operating in China, and according to a 2017 survey, this market was #1 in the world. An estimated 16 million bicycles were on the road at one time in China. Then a time came when this business had become oversaturated, and it was no longer profitable. Investors stopped investing more in this business model, and this is where the downfall of bike sharing in China began. It got to the point where Beijing's roads could support 12 million bicycles at one time, but bike-sharing companies had distributed 23 million bicycles, which was double the capacity of the city. Therefore, there was a problem with parking so many bicycles, and people started parking them on the corners of the roads. Gradually, every street corner was filled with a heap of bicycles. In 2018, more than half of the bike-sharing companies went bankrupt, and their bicycles were left scattered like rubbish. Seeing this situation, the government started gathering the bikes in dumping yards to clean up the cities. Bikes were being picked up from every street and corner and taken to the dumping yards. Now there are dumping yards with nearly 200,000 bikes in each one, presenting a shocking sight. It is unknown how many small and large dumping yards exist in China, which are now remembered as bicycle graveyards. Although bike sharing is still a trend in China today, but the market is not growing as it did in 2017. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and share with friends. Your support is appreciated. Looking forward to bringing you more content. Take care and see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.